to talk about the workshops at all? Maybe just touch a little bit about on what you actually do in the workshops?
Yeah. In the world building workshops?
Yes.
The world building workshops, we take this journey between the world in crisis and an amazing new one, where we directly experience that we have the reason, we have the vision, that we have the power, and we have the technology. And then we literally start creating the new world in that workshop, because a lot of times workshops will get you all excited and speakers will come up and they'll give a lot of really useful information and you get all jazzed up, but there's nothing to do. There's no way to actually put your energy anywhere. So I've built into these workshops the whole journey from awareness to collaborative action.
And do you mind talking a little bit about how you do that?
Because it's a direct experience that we have in the room, in community, describing it does it no justice, really. It's like describing raising a child.
Sure.
You know, I could describe it all day long, but until you actually experience it, you're so the work that we're doing in these workshops, that's creating the new world. Me out here describing how it works and the mechanics of it, I mean, in fact, that's kind of part of the problem. You know, we've all been sitting around armchair quarterbacking this world,
sure.
Right? You know, if only Obama would do that, if only so-and-so would do that, if only they would do this, these people would do this, and we could just, you know, and it's just sort of this conceptual sort of nutshell game. We haven't actually got in the room together to ask ourselves the important questions and to get beyond our differences, where, you know, if we're all focused on a shared vision, which we do have, which we directly experience in this workshop, then suddenly all of our differences become resources toward that shared vision rather than obstacles. So the difficulty in describing this, frankly, is that creating the new world isn't going to happen in the abstract by just talking about it. I could write books, volumes, people have written books and volumes. And creating the new world is not going to happen, you know, as an intellectual exercise from the neck up. Creating the new world is going to happen in the doing of it. And what the creating the new world architecture and design does is it empowers that body of work. So in other words, we could sit around forever and talk about it, but that's not where the work gets done.
Right.
So when we do these, for instance, when we do these introductory workshops, we're going to get a taste of some of these exercises and see the line of sight from the world we're in to the world we truly want.
Right.
And we're saying, okay, here we're doing this part now, we're doing this part now, we're on this stepping stone, and now we're going to head there, and now we're going to start creating. So it's almost as if all of the calls for change and all of the energy for change and everything that we're seeing now about what's wrong with the world, we have analyzed the darn thing to death. Mm-hmm. The point is the solutions are already in existence, but we have not gotten together to actually build something together. We haven't had an invitation into a concrete task, creating the new world. We haven't had a way forward where we could all see what the body of work is. Okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, this is how it works. We're all participating in this. And we haven't asked ourselves the key questions. So without getting in a room, then even, you know, this interview or a book I might write, or even that is not actually the work.
Right.
It's like if we started writing a book about parenting. We could write the book. It could be the best book ever, but it isn't parenting. Mm-hmm. We're not actually experiencing parenting. So all I want to invite people to do is come into a room together, have this experience, and in that experience we'll not only be learning how to create the new world, we'll literally be doing it in the moment. Mm-hmm. If you're willing to try something new. We've been certainly calling for something new for a long time, and yet we still bark up the same trees. This president or that president, or well, let's get this law passed. We're still asking the old system to do new things, and we keep saying we need to fundamentally change. What I'm proposing is something that is fundamentally different, asking ourselves fundamentally different questions in a fundamentally different space, creating in a fundamentally new way, based on who we truly are and how we truly want to live, rather than on how do we fix this structure. We're asking we've got it backwards, because when we connect to how we truly want to live, and we bring it out here and say, this is how we truly want to live, that's going to dictate or to help us determine what kind of structures to put in place. We may not need half the stuff we've got going. We may need some of it, but we won't know that until we ask ourselves the questions. Who are we, and how do we truly want to live?